His Messi deal is crazy. He turned down $1 billion from the Saudi government to go play in the United States.
What does your dad think of that?
My dad probably, I would say, even though Messi's from Argentina, if I told my dad about that, my dad would say Messi's an American hero. That's what he would say for turning down the Saudis. But I think at that, I get it, but I think at that point, it's not about the money, right? I mean, Messi has more money. He's free. As you were saying before, Messi's free. He's reached financial freedom, I would think.
There's a couple things with this that I was talking to a buddy of mine who's involved in sports, and he was like, a lot of times these athletes validate themselves through the contract that they get, even if they don't need the money.
Right.
Right. And these contracts that you can get from Saudi or some of these oil states are so exorbitant. It makes you feel in the twilight of your career that you're still that dude. And maybe that's why Cristiano accepted it. But what's really interesting.
That's really the third thing that we just spoke to. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is.
But it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. This deal, and you probably know the intricacies of the deal, Mark, but like this deal is also very lucrative because he could get pieces of the pie a little bit,
exactly.
right?
So he basically, like the American royal family, basically, like the corporations that exist within America stepped up to basically match or beat the deal.
Right.
Oh, brilliant.
So Apple has all the streaming rights for the MLS. And they said, hey, Messi, if you come over, we'll give you a piece of the streaming.
And he deserves it because that's the only reason we're going to watch
Adidas says, hey, you're coming over, we're going to give you a piece of all the shoes that we sell with your name on it.
All the soccer, all the jersey sales for the MLS. He gets a piece of.
Oh, not just
that.
his jersey.
Wow.
Okay, wait. So check this. This is so interesting. So I am like outside of being the #1 football journalist in the world, I'm also quite a casual fan of football. But I said to Emma on the way home yesterday, we're in some Uber, and I was like, hey, do you know who Lionel Messi is? And she's like, oh, yeah, the soccer player. And I'm like, well, he's going to play for this team in Miami. Would you want to go see a game when he comes to play in New York? And she's like, that would be awesome. Let's go do it. That's why you pay him.
Yeah.
The casual and the even more casual, barely even aware of what the sport is, are like, I need to go see this guy.
I want to go. I've never watched an MLS match in my life.
What a brilliant idea.
If they come, well, I'm sure they will come to New York.
The corporations unite and they find a way to pay him as much.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. I think he's able to purchase a team eventually for the same
I think that was
amount.
Beckham's deal,
I'm not sure.
right?
I heard they've given him the Beckham
No,
deal.
Messi sort of gets a similar deal when he finishes.
I assume the precedent, once it's set, that was a big thing. You all seen Air?
Yes.
At the end of the movie, how real this part is, I don't know. But as they're about to close the deal, Michael Jordan's mom was like, oh, there's clearly some oversight in the contract. You guys forgot to mention that we would get a percentage of all the shoes he sells. And the reason Nike was really fuck is this sets a precedent. And now this is just what it's going to be.
Dude, do you know Jordan only made $93 million in his career, but is worth $5 billion today?
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
talk about that ROI in what it. So I mean, $93 million is insane, but people need to give credit to Michael Jordan's business because I know
he makes $400 million a year off the sneakers.
Off just the shoes.
Because I know
93 in his whole career.
Yes,
and keep in mind the last contract he signed, I think, was a $36 million a year contract. Remember, Jerry Stackhouse was like, "Aren't I worth a third of Jordan?" Remember Jerry Stackhouse?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Aren't I worth a third?" And now $12 million. We look at the contract Jerry was worth $12 million. But back in the day, you're like, what? $12 million, the highest paid player in the fucking league.
No, that he really is like Brian Moore. You know Brian Moore. He's the one that sent me that yesterday. Shout out Brian Moore, aka Lancelot. This guy's got. You've never seen a medieval. This guy's got a haircut like a medieval knight.
Yeah.
But he rocks it. He looks good. And so he sent me that article, and I was like, whoa, dude, people why is he should be the one on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
He should be the one
because he's not taking anybody's deal.
Yeah,
he's gonna shit on their deal, make them feel bad, tell them to get the fuck out of the room.
Did you see the Magic Johnson thing? So in the 80s, he was offered a deal with Nike. And they were like, hey, we're going to give you a percentage. We're going to have your shoe, blah, blah, blah. And then he was also given a deal from Converse. At the time, there were two separate companies. And the Converse deal was basically $100,000 annually or some shit. And Magic Johnson was just in the beginning of his career. And he took the Converse deal for $100,000 a year annually instead of the Nike deal, which now would have been
points in Nike.
Oh.
Yeah. Like Nike equity.
What was his reasoning, did you say?
His reasoning was
Converse was more popular at the time.
Converse was more popular. He's like, I didn't have any money. I was like a kid just playing in the league. So I had to take the guaranteed money, and I couldn't bet on this this like fledgling
Also,
shoe brand.
okay.
He
that
got
no one
drafted in
knows.
what, the late 70s? Jordan was 84, and even then, when Jordan got drafted, Nike was nothing for basketball.
Yeah.
So imagine even before
Embarrassing,
that.
yeah.
But that deal now would have been worth like $3 billion or some shit, like something crazy. And he talks about it, he's like, "Fuck, I kicked
It's so
myself."
funny because Magic
Still
did
did
all right
well.
business-wise.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
got
still
pieces
did
of
great.
Dodgers.
Yeah, he did.
He's a billionaire too, probably.
Yeah.
probably.
But in the moment, he made the right choice. If you look at all his shit, but in hindsight, the equity deal is like crazy. But
That's what I heard Kevin Hart say, I think on the Logan Paul podcast, try as much as you can to work with companies, not for companies.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's that mindset that makes you super rich, is when you're just, we're all in this together, give me a piece, I'll take less money up front, but let me, bank on, that's what Warren Buffett does. Warren Buffett's just like banking on the companies that he thinks are going to go the furthest. He's like, give me a piece. And then, you become rich like that.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, you need to have a certain amount of like financial stability to take that chance.
And clout to even allow you to allow the
uplift
company to even allow you to do that.
Yeah,
So it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But you can get there.
I mean, speaking of crazy